Okay, my traveling principal legends, the moment you've been waiting for. We heard the big ideas, but now it's time to get your hands dirty and see the magic happen for real. Get ready, because Arlene's about to crack open tobystutor.com and show us exactly how this AI sidekick thinks, adapts, and rescues students right when they need it most. We're not talking theory today. We're talking real, live demo. Watch as frustration could get shut down, confidence goes through the roof, and every learner gets the support that they deserve. Since that last episode, Arlene has gone live with tobystutor.com. So buckle up, keep your eyes locked in, and let's see tobystutor.com do its thing. Live and unfiltered. Let's go. So, okay, let me ask you this. If you put it out there, how do you gather and apply feedback from the students, the parents, the educators to improve that platform? Do you already have a system like that in place, or do you have something planned, like a beta?
Yeah, we do have a beta. Beta's launching, knock on wood, June 15th.
There we go.
So we got a couple of weeks before this is out in the wild.
How do you get people to sign up? Like, how do you already have a list?
We have a list of a combination of friends and family and people who found us through the website and through our new Instagram handle.
Awesome.
At Toby's Tutor, if you're on IG. So like, follow, subscribe on Instagram. So we're posting content there that kind of gives you some of our origin story, but also part of the mission is to raise awareness about all these various learning differences. So we've got a series called Did You Know? And then a new series that's going to launch out on Instagram called What If? So you'll see some of that. So we're taking stats from different research institutions, recent studies, so that will all be available. We're also going to add some additional resources to the website that'll be free and open to anyone. Very much similar to like the great websites that are out there, like understood.org, but like just to consolidate what information is out there. And in September, when the product fully launches, we're going to be generating a biweekly newsletter that highlights kind of like a TLDR of all the latest research around learning differences, conferences that are coming up. So for parents who want to kind of stay abreast but don't necessarily want to go out and find all of this information, we'll distill all of that information into like a TLDR style newsletter that just lands in your inbox.
Awesome.
And in terms of feedback, right? The feedback to the product and the immediate interaction is through the chatbot. So it's always adapting.
Okay.
But parents will, in their own dashboard, have a chatbot of their own, where not only will they get weekly and monthly and quarterly updates about how their kid is doing, pulling from actual chat history to show them like, hey, when we first started, your kid could do this, and now your kid can do this, and the time it takes is much faster than it was before, and we're on track to achieve the long-term goals we set out. Or not, like, it's not going to like sugarcoat it. It's going to give you,
I like that,
empirical data about where your child is at. And the parent can use the chat to tweak lessons. So it will feed back into our AI to adjust session changes. So like if you say to us, I think our kid should have a 30-minute session versus a 20-minute session.
Okay.
You as a parent type that into the chatbot, and the next time we do it, it'll adjust. And if the AI thinks what you're asking is actually unreasonable, because parents can be unreasonable, sense check you and say,
gosh, that's great.
We've noticed that the degree of frustration that so-and-so has been experiencing might not result in a session duration or sustain a duration of 30 minutes. It will say, hey, wait, slow your roll.
Yeah.
As a parent, though, you have full control. We suggest parent says, I don't care, just do it. And then
They do
that's
it.
what we do. So
Okay, so we're going to eventually have a human margin of error to the AI companion.
potentially, but you know, I think, and we haven't written this part yet into the beta, but obviously we need to call out when parents are getting in the way.
Oh, please, Arlene.
Because they do. I mean, I'm a parent. I know. I'm sure I got in the way plenty of times.
Same.
So we need to kind of somehow figure out, and there's probably a way to do this. I haven't mapped it out fully, which is parent intervenes. We record the intervention. We see negative results, not positive results, after the intervention from the parent.
I see.
Then we can feed that back and say, you know, we kind of traced it back to this moment. We think we should go back to the original plan.
Oh,
And so there's a way to make that happen.
I
But
like it.
yeah,
It's smart. I mean, if we could only figure out a way to have AI interject in a multitude of other ways as well. Can we see it?
sure, we can.
Really? Okay.
So I'm going to give you a choice. There's two, we can do both. There's Toby, which isn't based on my actual son. And he's more kind of a science nerdy person,
Okay.
which is actually based on my son. And then there's Emma, who is slightly younger. So Test Toby is 12 years old. Test Emma, I believe, is 9 years old. So
Okay.
3 years makes a big difference, obviously, right? So, so which would you like to see first?
I think that Toby is 12. I have an 11 and an about to be, well, I still have a 12. She's about to be 13. So that's kind of in my wheelhouse of where I understand. I'm only secondary,
Okay.
grade 6 to 8. So I'm still learning elementary. So Toby would be awesome.
Let me share my screen.
Okay.
Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
All right. Sir Smarts a lot is his name.
Of course it is. That's hysterical. All right, let me get this a little bigger.
So there's a little animation. Welcome back, Toby. I'll walk you through the dashboard. So these are the mock badges he's already won. He can always look at his own learning goals here. So, you know, it's giving him this progress bar, which by the end of it, he'll earn a badge for some of this. So one of the things is like speed. He's working on speed, and he's working on reading comprehension. This is Test Toby.
And you guys are offering badges as like the
Sorry, my dog. So there's that. And then the main part of this is the chatbot. Here we go.
Got it.
Let me just change the window size so it's
Wow, that is cool. It's already recognizing the day.
Yep.
Very personal.
So we'll say hi.
So if you guys are listening to this right away, it's saying, let me make this big on my screen here. Let me exit full screen so I can see you better. It's Friday. Toby, let's finish this week on a high note with some emojis right away. That is really cool.
I'll play the speech to text. I'm not going to do the text to speech because I think with the Google Meet, the mics might get confused just because we've got multiple mics going on.
Okay.
Hey, Toby, are you ready for an epic learning adventure today? We'll mix in some of your favorite things like science, Spider-Man, and maybe even some cool gaming themes. Let's get started. What's on your mind?
So there's speech to text there. So for kids who, you know, obviously they need reading practice, but I don't want things to slow down the experience.
Yeah.
So it's not a default setting. You could have the default setting up here where it's automatically when it launches, there's text to speech. But I think it's better for certain kids, but we give the option. So you'll always see a little speaker button on every interaction. And I'll just say, I don't know, what am I supposed to do today?
Okay, so you can come in blank and just say, teach
Yeah.
me something.
Yeah. And obviously, the more you work with it, when it launches, it'll pick up where you left off. So again, this student is about reading comprehension. So we dive into these things. And, you know, one of the other thing is like focus. So this kid has got like stamina issues. So it's trying to get him to go through 4 or 5 questions at a time to increase his stamina. And you tell me what to do here. Like, what do you want to do? Should we say, is this too hard? Or should we try to answer? Or like, I don't like superheroes anymore. I don't know, whatever. You tell me, let's just see what the AI does.
Let's do, I'm always curious about the leveling of questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I also love the focus timer adventure, because I feel like what you're also doing, Arlene, is really preparing a subgroup of students to take these unfortunate state assessments that are all computer based.
Right.
And this is exactly what it's going to be like. So you're just, it's like a PSAT to the SAT, right? You know what I mean? In that essence. So the time thing, I think, is really crucial for kids now, because that's a foundation of anxiety. I feel like the time constraint. So can we do number 2?
Yeah, let's do 2.
Oh, this is awesome. Super fast.
So this is here's what we're going to level up, warm up round. It gives you roughly the time after the timer goes off, blah, blah, blah. And then you can say, this sounds too hard.
Okay.
It says.
Yeah, you don't even have to really be specific.
No worries. Let's break it down. Let's make it 5 minutes.
Oh, perfect.
Like, so this is that frustration thing coming in. The algorithm I mentioned before, it's responding in real time to whether or not a kid thinks what is being asked of them is like out of your freaking mind, or is it too easy? Like, we could say, no, let's level up, challenge me. You want to try that, see what it says?
Yeah, because I also love that there's an element of celebration in there that includes like a kinesthetic activity.
Yeah.
So you're breaking up the monotony of learning, which is just not possible in most classrooms unless you literally give that time. Wow. Yeah, let's see what. So we went from 10 minutes with a break to celebrate to the next level to 5 minutes. If we're going to do a little more challenging,
So it goes back to the 10-minute challenge, right?
we go back up to 10. And we're talking about Spider-Man. We're on a quest.
Yeah.
The vocabulary is 11 years old.
For 11, 12-year-old kid.
Yeah, those words are not challenging to read. Nothing is of a Lexile level that I feel like would exceed grade 7. Wow, that is okay. That's really cool.
And then, you know, like I said before, if the kid changes, like, let's say, tell me something your kid's like, I don't like Spider-Man.
My kid has to do a paper or a presentation on the light bulb, Thomas Edison. So we've been diving into it using AI, but not super engaging.
And it like went out to the web, figured out who Thomas Edison is, recalibrated.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now we're inventors.
Yeah. But it's still the same task, right?
Yep.
But it's just reframed who you want to be who you're interested in, or what you're interested in.
Timer start, same amount of time, same. Okay. Very interesting. Where did you get the pedagogical breakdown of the delivery of that lesson plan from? What is who are the educators you guys used or you
Well,
used?
there are about 147 different sources so far in the database that range from scientific research to best practices, to things that a parent might find on the open web, like, what is dyslexia, or, common things, but it's from various centers around the world. And all of that gets chunked, which is like this weird technical term where we break down the information into 500, 200 word chunks. So each chunk is grouped with similar chunks. So if it's about ADHD, all of that ADHD stuff is chunked together.
Okay.
But when our AI sees a kid with a certain learning profile with one or more kind of learning differences, it will reach into the database and say, what should I do to help this kid based on these things that I know? Sorry, my hands are like.
I love it. I need it. I need to see it. This is so great.
And then the AI takes that information, distills it, wraps it into some natural language, which is evidence kind of in here, right? So behind what you're seeing here is a little bit more technical and probably not going to be kid friendly. So we rewrite that. And this version in the parents dashboard will obviously sound more grown up, be a little bit more detailed. So that's how the lesson plans, the goals are all created.
Wow.
So, and we'll continue to add, right? Like, this is not a static database. As new research comes out, new breakthroughs come in, potentially there's going to be a lot more research around the use of AI to teach kids with learning differences. Once that research comes out, we'll feed it into the database and it will incorporate how we do this, right? So
that is phenomenal. What a cool tool to use. Talk about a fusion of personalization of learning, social and emotional wellness, executive functions, and the ability to adapt to said progress or lack thereof. I'm floored. I absolutely love this. This is so cool.
I'm so glad.
I want you to plug it. Where can educators and families learn more, try it for themselves, or sign up even to be a part of this movement?
So tobystutor.com, which is just tobystutor.com.
I'll put it up.
Log on there. You can register for the beta, which we're on track to deliver and launch the beta on the 15th of June. So just a couple of weeks. So join for $1. We'll take the dollar off. Everyone in the beta, when it launches June 15th, will get a free 7-day trial so you can play with it.
Awesome.
And after that, during the beta period, the subscription is $29 a month.
Okay.
And then when we launch the full product in September, it'll be $39 a month. And then we hope to hold it to that. It really depends on some of these AI companies that are charging and the API fees and things like that. So we're kind of a little bit at their mercy, but the goal and the mission is to make this as affordable as we possibly can. Obviously private tutoring, I want to be clear for anyone out there who's a private tutor, y'all are the gold standard. If you can send your kid to a quality private tutor, a quality school that is providing them, your child, the resources that they need, 100%. Use them, hire them.
Yeah.
This is not a replacement. This might be complementary. This could be an addition to, but it is not meant to replace the highly qualified, trained, human, empathic people who are in this profession helping our kids. I just want to be absolutely clear about that.
I love that you are too, because I'm so optimistic about this AI movement, and so my mind immediately goes like, if we get this in the hands of a seasoned special educator, I mean, imagine how much more productive if this was like a regular part of their, curriculum and the routine of the day, which, I mean, it, like you said, it supplants, it doesn't substitute, and I love that about this. One last question. I want to ask, because of your expertise, et cetera, in your career, this is such a growing movement with regards to AI and how it impacts education and entrepreneurs. What's the biggest piece of advice for entrepreneurs looking to build AI-driven tools for students with learning challenges that you could give based on your experience so far? Because I've referred to you several times, I think, as a team throughout this interview, when it's really just you. So what should they know about just like this whole thing?
Build. Stop
Just
talking
do it.
about it. Stop worrying. Can I? Should I? Just try. Just build. Take my 12-year-old kid's advice. Just stick with it. Just keep pressing.
I love that.
That's really all you got to do. I mean, the way technology, like, there are many reasons to be concerned, cautious, maybe even afraid about AI. 100%. But the upside is that it's really democratizing technology and really enabling you to build things that may have been in your head that you don't know how to do. 100%. A lot of my tech stack, despite my knowledge, I run teams. That's my job, right?
Yeah.
I have people, I ask them to do things. That is largely my technology role. In my private role, in building Toby's tutor for my kid, the only one I'm asking is a bunch of AI. It is not, they're not humans. No one's doing this for me. My advice is to just start playing around with the tools, and use whatever skills you have to build what you want. And like with anything,
Yeah, right.
be organized, like take a step back. Here's my idea, backward map from the goal that you have, break it down into achievable sections. It's all the things we tell our kids. You need to tell ourselves, right?
Yeah.
We need to tell ourselves in order to do what we want to do. Complete honesty. This ain't easy.
Yeah.
It's hard. You'll want to smash your head against a wall, or like just go out and like maybe take a walk or have a cocktail, whatever it is that stresses you, do it, but then get back to it. Because chances are your idea can make a difference. The tools are rapidly evolving to enable you to achieve the goals that you want. So just do it.
I can totally see why you and Tina get along. My wife and I hold Tina to such a high regard. She's one of the most intelligent people I know. And I'm going to put you right up there with her, Arlyn. Thank you so much for your time. This is just so brilliant, and it excites me so much. And I'm going to plug it throughout. I'll break this up and send it to as many people as I can. But to my audience, please understand we are at the forefront of some really big things here happening in education. And I'm so excited to share it out, Arlyn. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.